I think that the message that is really important here is that what we've done hasn't cost us a lot. It's required a bit of effort, sure, but most organisations, I think, if they put their mind to it, could do similar things. And so, whilst it's personally satisfying, and Ruth Ogden, who runs this campaign inside our chaplain, runs this campaign inside Toll, I'm sure is sort of working day and night, and she would say it's probably a lot harder than it may look. But I think the reality is that if you're an organisation, you allocate some reasonable resources to this sort of thing, the rewards far outweigh the effort required to put it together, and you've only got to save one life, and I think it makes it worthwhile. But clearly, I think there's an opportunity to do much more than that.
For a recovering drug addict, securing a new career can sometimes seem out of reach. Being judged on their affliction rather than their ability is a day-to-day struggle. But Toll has developed a program that offers more than just a foot in the door. It gives these young people a chance to step into a whole new life.
At the lowest point of my life would have been when I was probably about a month before I got locked up. I was flat out on drugs, every cent to drugs, stealing to get drugs. I was sleeping on the streets just because every time my mum would give me money for a room, I'd spend it on drugs. And I had nothing. I was pretty much killing myself. It's not good. It doesn't last long either. You know, you spend all that money on drugs for what? It's for nothing. It doesn't get you anywhere, and it just hurts the people who care for you, and most of all, it hurts yourself.
The most significant issue for both groups of people who come into the Second Step program is they've got ugly holes in their CV which show that they have been undesirable people in the past. And if you're an employer and you're looking at someone's CV and it says there's a big 6-year gap here, and when you ask the question what were you doing during that 6 years, and it was dealing with my addiction, or I was incarcerated, pretty much the door will be closed on employment opportunities. So what the Second Step program does is ignore that. They've come through the pre-employment preparation, we know that they're fit and ready for work, so we ignore the history that has been resolved and give people an opportunity to move on with their lives through an employment opportunity with us.
On payday, my first payday, I was wrapped. I'm like, I've actually worked a full week to earn this, and I reckon I've bought more belongings since I've been working than I've bought in my whole life. And it just feels good to actually have things that I've earned, that I've worked for.
In 2005, the program was expanded to accept candidates that have come through the criminal and juvenile justice system.
So we work predominantly with First Step, obviously, with White Lion, who work with younger people through the juvenile justice system, work with Melbourne City Mission, who work predominantly with women coming through the criminal justice system, and we work with Prison Fellowship and Port Phillip Prison directly for people being released from custody.
I think the figures are around about 80% in the men's prison and 90% in the women's prison are in for drug-related crime. If we can break the cycle, give people a chance to get clean, stay clean, and get back into the workforce, back into life, and be truly rehabilitated, we're going to break that cycle. We're going to have a big, big impact on the amount of times people go back to jail, the amount of times people have to go back into detox and into rehabilitation and rebuild again.
What we try and do is a vocational assessment will determine how they're going to get to their target plan. And then it's creating that right experience. And often, sometimes what we do is perceived as a little bit scary. It's a little bit out of the comfort zone for a lot of these young people. So we have to develop a very, very strong relationship and put in a lot of work before they even step into the workplace. Some kids will be working with for 6 months just to overcome behavioural patterns, to overcome anxiety. If you take a young person that's never worked before into the foyer of a building like the ANZ or into a company like Toll or onto a work site with Grocon, it's pretty intimidating. They're large places, they're full of bustling activity, and a lot of the time the lack of confidence will come through. So we try and make the young person feel as though they really belong there, link them up with people within that organisation so that suddenly it's not such a scary place.
Personal involvement, that's probably the best part of it. I get to, from the start, actually induct the candidates. I get to train them, watch them grow, go through their ups and downs, and come out the other end of it, all ready for the big wide world that it is.
Me and Mick have a good relationship, I guess. It's not like boss and employers. More friends, and can have a joke with each other, and it's good.
I've had many clients in my life that have been absolutely destitute. They've had significant depression. They've been entrapped with addiction, and absolutely struggling at every level in their life.
I'd wake up maybe about 7 o'clock in the morning or something, and I would go to Footscray or something and try and meet up with a group that are trying to score, trying to find money to score, and we'd all just get together at there's this park out Footscray where you all get together and drink piss and come up with some idea of how to make some money, who can we rob and stuff like that. Then I'd get ways, would find, do the crime, go and pawn the stuff off or sell it off for drugs, and then we'd all sit there and get wasted, and that's pretty much it for the whole day, until tomorrow. You try and make as much money as you can so that the next day you don't have to go and do the whole thing again, but you get greedy, and by the end of the night you've got no more drugs, so you have to start all over again the next day.
When you get the opportunity to see somebody through that journey of detoxing, establishing a healthy lifestyle, and eventually establishing a working life, the difference is unbelievably substantial. The amount of people that I've seen come through Second Step and get a job, and that job is meaningful to them, and then move on in their life to the full extent is amazing. And there's hundreds of people that have gone through Second Step, and all bar none, that difference is substantial and exceptional in their lives.
Oh gosh, what a difference. Now I wake up at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I let my cat inside and play with my cat, have a coffee, eat some breakfast, watch TV, go shopping, get ready for work, go to work, come home, have a coffee, make some food, play with the cat, and go to sleep. That's it.
Not only is it beneficial, to that person, but also to the employer as well, because you've got this person sitting here that's been given an opportunity that don't come around too often. They're not going to blow it, so you're basically going to have pretty much a loyal and dedicated employee who's going to be forever grateful, and will take that opportunity and will actually run with that.
I think for us, for our business, it's the fact that we have helped people get through some tough times in their life, and by having all the support programs and the right people in place to help them get through that, it really is a wonderful thing to be part of.
think if an organisation is looking to embark on a program like this, they need to consider it to be part of their employment strategy, part of their workforce, not a little CSR initiative that may not be maintained. Because we really are talking about taking on the responsibility to some extent for people's lives in the same way that businesses are responsible for all their employees' lives. But it's not something that can be not done in the short term. It has to take some degree of long-term commitment to be genuine and to be successful for the individuals and for the business.
It will be a rewarding endeavour, one that they can do, and simply to be writing out a cheque to honour your obligations in the community, I don't think it's enough. That's a cop-out, really. Roll your sleeves up, make a difference, employ some of these people, and it'll be a rewarding outcome for you.